How to manifest abundance with Nitika, the spirit of wealth. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and if you are already subscribed, welcome back. This video is going to be all about manifesting abundance in your life. And why can I help you with this? Because I have done this. I have worked with Nitika, and I have personally found that she is a very helpful spirit to work with, and I have found out that the ritual was very successful. So I thought that I could help you sharing my story as well as sharing information about the ritual itself. Let's jump straight into the video. First of all, who is Nitika? Nitika is not an angel. Nitika is not a demon. Nitika is simply a spirit, an entity, personification of wealth and abundance from the Noctemeron by Apollonius of Tyana, recognized in occultism as the spirit of wealth and abundance. This entity has also the name of the spirit of the 12 hours. Nitika, as a spirit of wealth, can bring you everything that you want in this material world. So, what can you ask for when you are summoning the spirit Nitika? For money, obviously, pretty much everything that you want. It can be as little as 1 or 10 pounds and as big as 1 million. There is no limit, really. The most important thing is that with Nitika, you are very honest about your intention. For example, if you are asking for 1,000 pounds because you need to pay your rent, you will have to use the money when you receive them to pay your rent. So be very honest and don't pretend that you are going to use the money for charity if you're not, okay? The spirit is more interested in you being honest and communicating exactly your intentions, okay? So you need to be honest and really have integrity, speak with your heart and put your intention. Now let's get into the ritual. The ritual itself, it's not difficult, and I would say that anyone can do it. However, it requires some preparation. This ritual that I am about to tell you, it is described in a book that I bought, that I have here, that is called Magickal Cashbook by Diamond Brand. As you can see, is quite thin, okay? So I will link this in the description box for you guys. I am also offering a specific link for this book, okay, if you want to buy it on Amazon. As I am an Amazon associate and Amazon influencer, I will receive a small percentage for each purchase. Okay, so each time you buy this book using my link, I receive a small percentage. So I really encourage you to use the link, okay, that is linked in the description box. It's a way to help me out as well, you know. This book, as I said, is very thin, so it's 47 pages, okay? It's not hard to understand at all. And let's jump straight into the preparation of the ritual. The first thing that you need to do to perform the ritual is making your magical cashbook. Okay, here is the full description. So, in a nutshell, to perform this ritual, you will need a few tools. Okay, the first thing that you need is a notebook that Diamond Brand that is also the author of other books, the author of many books under the name of Gallery of Magic. I will link that also in the description box for you. He describes this in details and says it's very important that you empower this cashbook. You can purchase this notebook, or if you have it, that's fine, okay, if you already have a notebook. However, I think it's really important to say that it has to have blank pages, so no lines, no squares. If you cannot purchase it in this way, if you can't find it, that's fine. I mean, according to Diamond brand, it's fine anyways, okay? But I have spent several hours trying to find exactly what I was looking for. Spend more time, if you can, to find a notebook with blank pages. When you have found it, you need to go through a process to transform this normal notebook into a magical tool. In this book, Diamond brand shows two sigils, okay, two sigils that are magical sigils that are supposed to empower this notebook. The way that it works is the following. You need to copy, draw by hand, okay, the following sigil. So the following sigil in this way, as the book says, okay? And then there is also a second sigil that you need to draw, which is this one. I do not know the meaning of these symbols, and Diamond brand doesn't explain this in the book. However, they are very powerful. It's the only thing that you need to know. These are the two sigils that you will need to prepare this cashbook. Now, once you have found the notebook that you want to use, I'm going to show you mine in a second. You will have to, okay, pay attention. This is very important. You will have to decide if you want to paint the sides, okay, the sides of the notebook, or buy colored paper and stick that on the sides of your notebook. One side has to be silver or gray, which has to be the front cover, and the other side, the back of the notebook, has to be orange. Gray or silver the front, and orange the back. I have chosen to paint the sides of the book because I love the fact that I can, actively transform the notebook in something magical with the paint. So I believe it's more effective. And after doing that, you need to draw the symbol that I have just shown you. Draw the symbol, and the first symbol that I showed you goes on the front cover, and the other symbol has to be glued on the back. Now, you can choose to draw the symbols or to scan them from the book and print them out. Okay, it's up to you. I preferred to draw them. It took a little while, okay, because I'm not familiar with the Hebrew at all, but I made it and I'm very satisfied with the result. So this is my cashbook. This is how it looks like, and it's really amazing. Okay, this is the front, okay, that I painted in silver. Several layers, so it took me hours because I needed to wait for the paint to be dry. So this is the front, and then I drew obviously the symbol. First I used a pencil, and then I used a marker, okay, to be very precise. And then on the back I painted the back with the orange, okay. Again, several coats. I think there were maybe 3 or 4 coats, and then I glued this symbol, okay, in the back, and I didn't paint the middle of the notebook. As you can see, this one is black. Inside is like this, blank pages. That's what you want. So I am actually very happy with the results, and really happy of my personal cashbook. Is actually really cool. The empowering ritual. The empowering ritual is the activation of this Cashbook that you have created. Okay, so it will activate this Cashbook and it will allow you to perform all of the rituals using this Cashbook. As I said, it will activate this tool, making it a powerful magical tool. Now, I won't go through every single step, especially I want to go through the pronunciation of the Hebrew words, okay? I will leave that for the only member videos because it's going to be too long, okay? So let's start first with the step number 1. The first thing that you want to do is to open the Cashbook on the first blank page, and you will need to write down and also speak the following words. Naha, kahi, ha, ho, he. Repeat these at least 3 times. Vibrate the words. Then you close the book, okay? And then you stare at the center of the symbol that you have on the front cover. Just stare a few moments, and when you are still looking, while you're still looking at the sigil, vibrate the name Nitika 11 times. And count to your fingers if you have to. Just make sure there is 11, okay? So Nitika, 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 Nitika. Obviously, you would have to, put some effort and be very intentional when you are saying the name of the spirit. Once you've done that, you open again the book, okay? And below the words Naha, Kai, Ahohe that you have just written, you write the following formula that will be on the screen for you. You don't have to say these words, you just have to write them down. And then when you arrive to the part that it says bring me wealth, you draw a small circle, okay, in the middle of the page, like I've done here, okay, a small circle, and then write down the rest of the formula. I command thee to bring me wealth in the name of, okay? Write down the whole formula. It has to be written down exactly as Diamond Brand describes. So capital letters, where you see capital letters, write down capital letters, okay? So when you finish writing, you close the book, you turn it, and then you stare at the second symbol that is at the back of your Cashbook. Just stare at the symbol. Have a look to this for a few moments, a few minutes if you want. Then you leave the book, okay, for some time. Just think about something else, okay? Carry on with your day. Now your book is ready, okay, is empowered. As I said, the words that we have used, that are used in this ritual, are Hebrew words, and are traditional Hebrew words, and are words of power, and they should be at least pronounced in the correct way in order for the ritual to work. Let's get into the ritual itself. The ritual itself, it's not hard at all. So, just as you have done the first time, get your Cashbook, okay? Open your Cashbook, so at the page where you have written the formula, and you need to read this time aloud and also vibrating the word, vibrating every single word, and really put intention into these words, like if you were calling out a god or a goddess. You are actually making the spirits aware of your presence, okay? So you have to be self-confident enough, and you have to believe in what you're saying, okay? So you say naha kahi ha ho he 3 times. Once you have done that, you close the book, you go to the first page again, the first symbol, okay, this one, and you stare at the symbol for a few moments, okay, just stare at the symbol. You open again the book, and this time you speak aloud the formula, and when you arrive to the part that it says the future to bring me wealth, you drew this small circle, you arrive to that part, stop, turn the page, and on the back of the page write down the exact amount that you want to manifest. For example, if you want to have 50 pounds, write down 50, okay, the number 50, okay, with the currency as well, okay, I think this is also very important. And then you put a small circle around that number, okay, so a number in the circle. Then really think of the feeling. How would it make you feel having that money? Even better if you think that you already have that money, okay, it's already yours. Then you turn the page again, go back to the formula, keep reading aloud the rest of the formula. I command thee to bring me wealth. When you have done the whole thing, okay, you finish the formula, you close the cash book, you go to the back of the cash book, you stare again at the symbol, this symbol this time, okay? Just stare at the back of the book, staring at the symbol, stare, and the ritual is over, okay? This is the ritual. You will need to perform this ritual for 11 days, okay? You will need to do this for 11 days, so make sure that you count the days. It doesn't matter if you miss a day, according to Diamond Brand. I think it's better if you don't. Just try to be as disciplined as you can. What to expect from the ritual? Well, you can expect to receive what you are asking for, and even more. This ritual has been successful in many cases. There are lots of reviews, lots of positive reviews that are saying that the ritual works. And also, I can share my own experience, okay? So my experience was actually very positive. So you can expect to get the amount you're asking for. You can expect even more. And the most important thing, as I said at the beginning, is that you are clear what you're asking for, the exact amount, and that you also communicate to the spirit clearly. Why do you need the money? How are you going to use this money, okay? Not how you're going to receive it, okay? This is not up to you. This is up to the spirit, okay? Just tell the spirit exactly what you are going to use the money for. Why do you need this money, okay? Be very specific. You don't have to say it loudly. You have to basically just think about this, okay? The idea, okay? Just imagine in your mind how it's going to be when you have this money, what you are going to do with this money, okay? This has to be very clear in your mind, a clear picture, okay, in your mind for the spirit to know this, okay? So this is very, very important. You can expect the results at the number, okay, at the 11th day, okay, so straight away. Sometimes the results don't arrive as fast as we wish. Sometimes it can take more time. It really depends what you're asking for, and sometimes spirit delivers things at the right time, okay? So don't get discouraged if you don't see the money appearing in your bank account on the 11th day. Even if you see some improvements, consider that the ritual has been successful. If you think that has been successful, you will need to put a few crosses, crossing, okay? Do an X on each amount that you have written for every day you have performed the ritual. Obviously, if you think that the ritual was not successful, just cross everything out and start a new ritual. My experience My experience was different from what I imagined it would be. Demon Brand in his book says that there are no bad consequences, and then this ritual is perfectly safe, and the spirit of wealth doesn't get angry. It pictures everything like, oh, it's a very safe ritual. Everything can have consequences. This is magic. So I disagree with that, because I performed the ritual the first time and there were consequences. The ritual sort of backfired, and it was my fault because I was performing also another money ritual at the same time. So I learned that it's better to not combine two rituals, so do not perform two money rituals at the same time. The first time that I performed this ritual, on the first 3 days, I had so much misfortune, okay? So when I started performing this ritual, actually things started going badly for me. So I had a very unfortunate accident with my car, okay? Nothing really serious, but my car was damaged. So that was on the second day that I was performing the ritual. So money for the repair, obviously, that I would have to pay for that. Then I received an unexpected bill. It was quite expensive, and then obviously I was like, what's going on? And on the third day of the ritual, I was fired, and then I was like, okay, I think that I'm doing something wrong here, okay? And so I checked with a friend of mine who is really into magic, and I told him, is it a problem if I'm doing two rituals at the same time, both for money? And he was like, well, maybe that's actually not recommended. So I stopped doing the other money spell, and I kept doing the ritual for Nitika, and magically things started going better, and I started seeing, some money coming back to me and things going better. Anyways, I ended the first ritual, so for the 11 days. I didn't feel like this ritual was successful because of all of the misfortune that I had. So I crossed everything out and I started performing the ritual again. Also, I must say that the amount I asked for was not a small amount at all. So I think that also needs to be taken into consideration, because if you ask for a large sum of money, it's probably more difficult to manifest in 11 days compared to a small amount of money. That's another thing to take into account. The second time that I've done this ritual, I have also included in my ritual magical tools. I have made offerings for the spirit, and things started going much better. So good, actually, that I got 2 interviews and I was successful both interviews. I got a job for a really good pay with a contract as well, 5 minutes from where I live. Wow. And I got the expenses paid. Wow. Okay. Then I got another job where I'm going to earn 3 times the amount that I'm currently earning. So I was like, okay, this is really good. And I just did one interview, and it was like not even like a real interview. I mean, it was an interview, but it was very informal. It was like the job was already mine. I was like, okay, Nitika is helping me out. And then I also got several donations. At the end of the ritual, I crossed everything. I put crosses on every single amount, even though I haven't received the amount I asked for, because I know that for what I'm seeing, I know that the amount will come at the end with all of these high paying jobs that I'm getting. And I also know that I'm going to work also during the summer. So yeah, I also got other 2 jobs actually as a self-employed, requested by clients. I had other clients requesting me. I had also my employer asking me for extra hours. So I was like, okay, oh, right, the money is coming in. That's really good. So for me, I personally had a positive experience with this ritual. So I would recommend, definitely I would recommend Magickal Cashbook by Demon Brand. Now, let me tell you, there are also other tools that you may want to use for this ritual. Use them, it makes everything more powerful, and it kind of empowers even more the ritual. I think it gives more power to the ritual. I think so. So if you are interested in knowing more about how I perform the ritual and what tools I use, I will leave a link in the description box for you guys. I will go through each step, and I also will teach you how to pronounce the Hebrew words to be able to perform this ritual. And I will also tell you about my magical tools that I have used during my ritual. So yeah, I think that's everything for this video. I hope that this was helpful. Let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts, what you think of this Magickal Cashbook. Okay, if you obviously like the video, leave me a like, thumbs up. Okay, subscribe to the channel, and I'm sending you lots of blessings, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.